As you know, we are discussing content and sequencing and its implied principles. So we're gonna now continue the discussion about principles number 3 and 4. Okay, what's principle 3? Okay, so learners should have increasingly spaced, repeated opportunity to give attention to wanted items in a variety of contexts. So this principle has been codified as a spaced retrieval. I mean, there should be sort of repeated, repetition of some learning opportunities. Right. Let's look at its significance. This principle is based on, some empirical evidence, Cashru's 1962 study, right? So this principle actually lays emphasis on the element of repetition, okay? What to repeat and in which way, okay? For example, if a course contains first conditional, okay? So, the aim is to teach first conditional, okay? So, the teacher shouldn't, for example, the advice here, the implied advice here is the teacher shouldn't, for instance, teach first conditional in the beginning and then forget about this one in the later sessions. So the whole point is just to, what I mean to say here is, from time to time, the teacher should, for example, keep repeating or signifying the significance of the items that have already been learned by the students. Okay. In fact, as you might have experienced yourself, a few course books, and there is evidence to suggest, contain this element of repetition because of, it might be difficult or for teachers to maintain the repetition, or it might be the space issue. But here, the suggestion is for an efficient language curriculum program, the element of repetition should be there. For example, there should be some interesting and useful activities which could draw the attention of the learners about the element that were already learned and how to repeat them or process them in the later stages. Okay. Principle 4, as you could see, has been codified as language system. Language system is a bit wider term. Let's see what it implies, what it means. The language focus of our course needs to be on generalizable features of the language system. Okay. So the features which can be generalized, which are generalizable. So the learners should be, for example, brought in a position to develop their own system of language learning. Okay. For example, if as a language teacher, if you want to teach the meaning of a word to the students, so it's better to teach its underlying significance or its underlying importance. We'll look at this element with the help of an example. I've got the example for you here. So instead of meaning, instead of, just exclusively focusing on the meaning in a particular context, we should, try to give students somewhat understanding of the language, the underlying concept of a word. For example, we've got the word here, sweet, for example. Okay. So, for instance, you are in the classroom and you want to teach sweet. Yeah. So you might give the meaning of this word to the students, and equally, you might draw their attention towards some other linking words, for example, sweet, taste, or sweet dish. Okay, so these are some underlying concepts which we should be, as language teachers, we should ensure that they are there in the course. So these two principles, 3 and 4, emphasize the significance of, teaching language in use, and the language which enhances the linguistic input of the students.